Hey, Jamie here from runningrestaurants.com. Got a great episode for you coming right up, but super quick. Want to make sure you know about our upcoming live one-day virtual restaurant show called the Optimism and Opportunity Restaurant Conference. We are super excited about it. So let me jump over to the page for a sec and show you what we got going on. Website is virtualrestaurantshow.com. You can see we have 7 great speakers lined up. I'll just be moderating. We have Roger Bobin from Restaurant Rockstars talking all about restaurant fundamentals. Matthew Patrick from Patrick Accounting and Works to talk about PPP funds and ERC. Dale Wilton, the lease coach, hitting on everything to do with leases. Joe Hanna from Restaurant 365 will dive into operations. Darren Dennington of Service with Style will be covering customer service. Matt Plapp of Restaurant Marketing at Works will hit marketing. And Kirk Mariello of Virtuant is our speaker for Ghost Kitchens and Virtual Brands. So as you can see here, the show is Tuesday, April 13th from 11 to 4 Eastern. We're going to be live for 5 hours, just kicking butt, telling you some stuff. Registration is open right now for the first 1,000 restaurants. So hurry and register for that before the $99 fee kicks in. Let me zoom down to our sponsors. We have a big shout out thanks to Performance Food Service coming in as our diamond level sponsor. Also want to thank Furiuchu Foods as our platinum level sponsor. And our gold level sponsors are Beaver Street Fisheries, Butterball, Handguards, Food Handler, and Harito. So super looking forward to it. Appreciate the support of these folks. Go and register today. The site is virtualrestaurantshow.com. You do not want to miss this. Now on to the episode. All right, welcome to the runningrestaurants.com podcast, where we bring you the tips, tools, and techniques you need to know to make your restaurant more successful and profitable. I'm your host, Jamie Oikel, and today we've got a great One Question With episode for you featuring Jim Snedeker, co-founder and CEO of Stock Manufacturing. So Jim, welcome, man. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Jamie? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, doing good. So real quick, tell us where you are in the country, a little bit about the company. What do you got?
Yeah, so Stock Manufacturing, we're based out of Chicago. We're just outside the West Loop neighborhood, so kind of right in the mix of things. And we're a workwear uniform company. We do a lot of merch, but also primarily we're a front of house workwear company. So bars, restaurants, hotels, cannabis dispensaries, you name it. We're kind of outfitting the staffs of places that want to put their best foot forward in that way.
Yeah, and I've seen your site, man. You guys have great looking stuff and working with a lot of great clients all over the place. So let's focus in on today. We're going to talk about the main question, right? Is pretty simple. Like, what do restaurants need to know right now as we're sitting in March going into April of 2021? What do they need to know about workwear, trends, COVID, face masks? What do you think?
Yeah, sure. So as far as trends for workwear, it's always on trend to kind of match the aesthetic of your brand and your establishment. Overall, in general, I'd say we're seeing, over the last couple of years, not really related to COVID at all, but over the last couple of years, I think you're seeing the trend swing away a lot from like dark woods and dark leathers and dimly lit places and gastropub type vibes into more open, airy, light, bright, kind of boho, Scandinavian inspired design. So, the uniforms that we're outfitting our clients with are, go more in that direction, a little bit lighter fabrics, textiles, a little more draped to them instead of as much leather and denim. I mean, denim is always going to sell well, but, a lot less leather and buckles and straps and a little more minimal and clean and airy.
What about that switch, right? Somebody, they make a big investment in workwear or outfits and things are moving. You must talk to them. And is there like a reluctance to make change, or they know they got to go with the times? What do you see there?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say there's a reluctance to make change. I think that, generally a lot of the projects that we work on are places that have hired an architecture firm, an interior design firm. They've got someone doing their brand assets and their brand identity. So the uniforms are kind of the last or a piece of that puzzle, right? If you're going to work on the typography on your menu and the sound design of your space and everything, like you want your staff to reflect the design of the place. I don't know that people are hesitant to change. It's more like, not everyone might stay as tuned into the trends and the styles and what's available in the uniform workwear world as we do. So we're often just coming in and saying, hey, looking at the place that has been designed for you guys. It's beautiful. This is, I think, maybe more the uniform direction you should go as opposed to what you were looking to do. That's sort of where we come in on the recommending styles that people may. It's not that they're resistant to change. People may just not necessarily know everything that's available to them and on trend at the moment.
Yeah. What about that? Because I see you do work with different size companies, different from hotels to restaurants and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But what is a good typical operation? Is it's a big place that wants to make a splash with their attire, small mom and pop, anything in between? What do you think?
Yeah, so I think everywhere, in general, there's a certain type of mentality in hospitality these days that is visible at like the most, or is present at the most visible places. So whether it's a really cool little local coffee roastery with nothing but counter service, or it's a brand new, Hyatt developed hotel, if they have that mindset of boutique and craft and local and artisan and on trend and well designed, like they're going to want to carry that over there into their uniforms. There's places where it doesn't matter, they don't care. It's a black t-shirt and a black apron, and you go to work like that. But for the places that care about the aesthetic in that way, I don't think there's really a difference in size. We see it from really tiny to really big, and we have solutions that can scale up if you're ordering 6 things or if you're ordering 600 things.
Yeah. When someone asks you like, hey, why don't I just go with a black t-shirt? Why should I do something else? Talk about that differentiation factor that apparel can make. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. There are places where not having a uniform at all is appropriate for the space. Like there's you go to there's Michelin starred restaurants where people are in just like vintage rock tees and their own jeans and maybe a waist apron. So it's appropriate to what you're trying to get across for your place. For us, it's why put all of this focus into so many different pieces of your business. And then, your service and your staff are really the people that are making the first impression, the most lasting impression on your customers. Yeah. So you want them to be well trained. You want them to know the menu. You want them to, come with a smile and go the extra mile and do all the things that a good service staff is going to do. But you also want them to look presentable. You want them to carry across the ethos of the brand that you've worked so hard to put together.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, it does make that impact and difference. Let's go to where we are today. I mean, I see on your site you guys do make custom masks out of Chicago where you are. Mm-hmm. Has that been a significant part of operations of people asking for the customized things? I like when businesses have that.
For the masks?
Yeah.
You say? Oh yeah. I mean, in around this time last year, I was applying for our PPP loan and hoping that we could, keep the lights on for a couple months while COVID ran its course. Obviously that was not the case, and it lasted a year. But we were, had the, I guess, good timing, good fortune, and good instincts to start to roll masks out like right at the beginning. Like, hey, the CDC is saying you should have cloth masks, reusable, and we had the capabilities and the fabrics and the staff to do it. So we made the masks. It was kind of fortuitous. We also ran a pretty big fundraiser last year for out of work hospitality employees, like right at the beginning of COVID, right as the shutdown was happening, thinking like, people are going to get hurt on tips for the next couple of weeks. So let's try to get them a little cash. Obviously, it became a much bigger thing than anyone was anticipating back then. Yeah. But the fundraiser itself ended up raising like $275,000 for about just over 100 local, all Chicago bars and restaurants. So, we were able to get some real money in people's hands, but the fortuitous thing for us, that was a fundraiser. We didn't make any money off of it. It was just us trying to help our friends and our customers out. But we had a lot of eyeballs on the site from that. And when we rolled the masks out, I mean, we were sold out. We were back ordered for 2 months on masks. And we had a lot of people also coming to us saying, hey, can you make X amount of masks for me? We ended up selling like several 100,000 masks last year. So that was really the thing that like not only kind of kept the lights on, like ended up being a really huge part of our revenue last year and helping us weather the COVID storm, because obviously our business is very reliant on bars and restaurants, which were not open and definitely not spending money on high-end uniforms for most of last year. So yeah, the masks, I would say, were a big part, not just of last year, but I guess almost like when you look back at us 10 years from now, they'll be a pretty big part of the journey of our company. I think just that moment in time,
Yeah, quick question for you. We didn't touch on it. How long previous to this did you guys get started? How long you been doing it?
We've been in business over 8 years now. And we actually started, it's interesting, I didn't go into this whole spiel at the beginning because I knew we didn't have a ton of time booked, but we were a men's fashion brand when we started. So we were like a heritage kind of workwear Americana brand. So think like, button down Oxfords and denim chore coats and stuff like that. And we were doing that for the first several years we were in business, but just sort of by happenstance, like our second year, the second year we were in business, Alinea and Next Restaurant approached us and asked us to do some custom uniforms for them because their executive chef at Next at the time was a fan of the brand. And we ended up doing those uniforms for Alinea, and that was in 2013, I think. Word travels fast, as you know, and it's a small industry. And that led to a couple of Let Us Entertain You restaurants, and then Goose Island Brewery. And then when Soho House opened in 2015 in Chicago, it was a really big deal. And we got the uniform account for the whole Soho House, which turned into a couple more Soho Houses out in New York. And that really just sort of like accelerated the uniform workwear side of what we were doing. And we ran the two brands side by side for a couple of years. And now about 2 years ago, we like pretty much either shut down or put on pause the sort of fashion brand side of things and focused all of our energy completely on the workwear uniform side of things.
Good.
We do a lot of merch as well for like breweries and beverage brands and stuff like that. And we do quite a bit of freelance design and merch work, but uniforms is the bread and butter.
That's probably fun though. The the merch side of it, especially on the brew pubs. You probably get some not cute's not the right word, but clever sayings and good graphics. And it's fun.
It's pretty fun. I mean, the coolest, if you ever have time, look up the case study on our website of the Miller High Life project we did a few years back. That's one of the coolest things we've ever worked on for sure.
We'll do. Check out. All right. So since we are there talking about websites and we're start to close up, point people to your website. Maybe you guys are social, Facebook, Instagram. What do you got?
Yeah, the website's www.stockmfgco.com. So like stockmanufacturingco.com. And all the social media handles are the same, just at stockmfgco.
Okay, simple stuff.
Yeah,
right,
very simple.
Well, good checking in with you, man. I think
you too.
I think that we're sitting here, we're close. I think you mentioned you've had vaccine and it's coming, and we're doing a big show coming up here in 2.5 weeks called the Optimism and Opportunity Show, because I really feel there's this light at the end of the tunnel. And I think everybody's feeling this tangibleness. And so, a year ago, we thought it would all be short and sweet, not so short and bitter, but anyway, not short and sweet, but nobody knew it would be this long. But I think we're coming out of it. I'm glad to see you guys. You kind of pivoted there and did a lot for your community and found a way to be a great fit, right, with the face mask and productive. So let's keep in touch. And so forth on your journey. So folks, Jim Snedeker, Stock Manufacturing, you can find them on the web at StockMFGCO, so StockMFGCO.com. And for more great restaurant marketing, operations, service, tech tips, stay tuned to us here at RunningRestaurants.com. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Jim.
Cool. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it.